you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, it is Monday morning, October 6th, and you're joining us for another edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
We've got plenty of national and international military news to get to, but first, let's kick it to Ulysses to see how the weather's looking this morning for our PT.
Thanks, guys. And looking at that PT forecast for this morning, overall not too bad. Temperatures starting off right around in the lower 60s here at Fort Sill, 62 degrees. So actually 6 degrees cooler from this time yesterday. Calm winds across the area. And looking at those temperatures here in the early going, we're going to be waking up into those lower 60s, start making our way into the upper 60s here by the time we make our way towards 9 a.m. As we look at the almanac from yesterday, though, we made our way up to 90 degrees across here in Lawton, 62 degrees for the low, and I actually did forecast these numbers back Saturday night for Sunday, so I actually did get a perfect forecast there. Above average though, 9 degrees above on the high, 7 degrees above for the low. Right now though, mostly clear to clear skies here on our Comanche Nation Entertainment Tower Camp at Medicine Park Aquarium. And as we go throughout today though, we're going to have lighter winds here. That's much better than what we had throughout the weekend because it was rather breezy with gusts up to 30 miles an hour both Saturday and Sunday. Notice these winds at around southeast, south 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures in the upper 80s. We might see some minor changes as we make our way into your Tuesday. We'll talk about that in just a little bit.
Tomorrow marks 2 years since Hamas fighters attacked Israeli communities, killing civilians and taking hostages. Israel responded by going directly after Hamas, sparking the wider war in Gaza.
Israeli military estimates that more than 10% of Gaza Palestinians are dead or injured. Now, analysts say a significant chance for peace is finally here. Amy Kiley has the latest on ceasefire talks.
This is the closest we've come to getting all of the hostages released.
Analysts say an end to the war in Gaza could be within reach as ceasefire talks begin in Egypt today. Israel, Hamas, and the U.S. have delegations there. Negotiators are discussing President Donald Trump's 20-point roadmap for peace.
It's a great deal for Israel. It's a great deal for the entire Arab world, Muslim world, and world. So we're very happy about it.
The roadmap calls for an immediate end to the war. It then gives Hamas 72 hours to release all Israeli hostages. After that, it calls for Israel to set free 250 prisoners and 1,700 detainees. The plan also involves Israel's eventual withdrawal from Gaza. For the first time, Israeli leaders are publicly agreeing to that idea.
There's a lot of will on every party to try and get a deal this week.
Both sides face growing international pressure to end the conflict. A UN inquiry says Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Also sparking outrage is Israel's recent attempt to assassinate a Hamas ceasefire delegation in Qatar.
Have you ever heard about a neutral country that mediates conflicts being attacked because they are hosting the talks from one of the parties of the conflict?
The U.S. has considerable leverage over Israel. Analysts say Trump now seems ready to use it.
He's decided that this war and Israeli military operations need to come to an end.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Thanks, Amy. The Pentagon has released video of a U.S. strike in the Caribbean that killed 4 people aboard a suspected narco-trafficking vessel.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed the strike off the coast of Venezuela on social media, claiming those on board were affiliated with designated terrorist organizations. Hegseth added the strikes will continue until the attacks on American people are over.
This marks at least the 4th U.S. military strike in the Caribbean since September that the administration claims are affiliated with drug cartels.
And President Trump was at Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia over the weekend for a rally with sailors, veterans, and their family members.
First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth joined the president for the Navy-themed event titled America's Navy 250 Titans of the Sea. The president spoke on a number of different topics, including military strikes on alleged drug boats, deployment of the National Guard troops, while also promoting upcoming events.
But you know what's the most important? 250 years is the most important, above World Cup, above Olympic. But we got them all coming. And on June 14th, next year, we're going to have a big UFC fight at the White House, right at the White House, on the grounds of the White House.
The president also speaking on the government shutdown, telling the sailors that he is, quote, supporting across-the-board raises for every service member of the United States Armed Forces. Well, a federal judge has temporarily blocked the deployment of California's National Guard troops to Oregon.
That's right. This comes on the heels of a ruling that was made about deploying Oregon's own National Guard. President Trump ordered the California troops to protect Portland on what he calls a war-ravaged city. According to the government lawyers, the National Guard is needed to protect ICE agents trying to carry out their work and to prevent violent riots.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek called the president's order to send troops from California an attempt to sidestep the original ruling.
As someone who was in Washington, D.C. On January 6th, that was the one time when the president should have sent troops in because there was an insurrection. What I do know is what Trump thinks about Portland is completely disconnected from reality. I've been downtown. I've been at the ICE facility. He's describing it as a war zone, and it is not.
Send in the National Guard. You know what? We send in what's ever necessary. People don't care. They don't want crime in their cities, and we're doing it, and we're doing it well. We're doing it like nobody's ever done it before.
Texas has also been ordered to send 400 members of their National Guard to Portland as well. No word yet on if a judge will also block the deployment of those troops.
Looking at some upcoming events on our area installations, Nye Library is inviting all new parents and their kiddos to join the new parent support program for story time.
The program is on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. And if that's not enough story time for you, there will be another session for toddlers and preschool age children from 11 until noon. For more information, you can visit the library or call the number in your screen. And Fort Sill MWR is inviting soldiers' families in the community out to the installation's monthly stable call at the Patriot Club. That event will take place on October 16th at 5 p.m. at the Jack Daniels Lounge. There will be free hors d'oeuvres as well as drink specials and giveaways. You must be 18 or older to enter. That event is free and open to all ranks.
And if you're a golfer looking for a unique experience, the Fort Sill Golf Club has you covered. They will be hosting a golf scramble on Halloween night. So this event will start at 7:30 on the 31st. Teams of 2 will enjoy 9 haunted glowing holes.
There we go.
The event costs $50 per team for members and $80 for non-members. You can call the number on your screen to sign up.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed from the work week, Fires Fitness Center is inviting you to come out for their body sculpt class. I've actually done this class, Kyle. It's pretty fun. And it is intense, too. The classes are held every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. You can also check out the class schedule at the Fires Fitness Center on Fort Sill MWR's Facebook page. Just a reminder, all classes at the Fitness Center are free.
And Shepherd Air Force Base has published its schedule for Indigenous Peoples Day next week. Most facilities on base will be closed next Monday. The dining facilities and the Shepherd Annex will be open. Fitness centers still have 24/7 access. Meanwhile, if you're in the mood for some bowling, the South Bowling Lanes and Snack Bar will remain open.
And just in time for spooky season, the fitness centers on Shepherd will be holding a zombie 5K run. That run will be held on October 18th at 6 p.m. at the golf course behind Runway Bar and Grill. Dress up in your favorite Halloween costumes and join other ghouls and ghosts for a bone-rattling night of fun. Who wrote this? For more information, you can contact the number on your screen or the 82nd Force Support Squadron's Facebook page.
Well, still ahead, the Navy midshipmen and the Air Force Fighting Falcons produced an instant classic over the weekend that went down to the wire. We'll have a recap of this week's Academy football games next on Good Morning Fort Sill.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. Every evening.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
There's another shakeup in the Lawton City Council as another member announces their resignation.
Your first alert for what's next.
That triple-digit heat that you saw in those 2 towns, that'll be throughout most of our areas we head into next week.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News, working for you every night at 10. Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Welcome back, everyone. Looking over on your Jackson County Memorial Hospital Tower cam in Altus. Overall, beautiful skies. You can see a little bit of the stars there. You can see a little bit of just some of the brighter dots there. Those are the stars right now. Also, as we make our way into tonight, we're actually going to see the Hunter moon at its peak. So that's the October full moon, and that's something we'll talk a little bit more on Good Morning Texoma starting at 5 o'clock. But when it comes to your temperatures, though, we're dealing with 60s for the most part, with the exception of Hobart at 71, 62 in Lawton. That's the cool spot. 63 in Chickasha, 64 in Wichita Falls, 66 in Altus, 67 in Quanah. But overall, though, we are tracking a little frontal system. We talked about this throughout the weekend, how this is going to be making its way closer to us here as we make our way into the start of the work week. And it's going to bring our temperatures down just a little bit. There's a dip in the jet stream, and that's going to allow for those temperatures to drop a hair here as we make our way into the middle portion of the week. Now, as we go throughout today, we'll deal with mostly sunny to even partly cloudy skies later on this afternoon. Going into tonight, can't rule out maybe a stray shower, but I do think even it's only going to be about a 10% chance for tonight, and even going into tomorrow, we'll have some scattered clouds. As we go into your Wednesday, those clouds will begin to reduce, but still can't rule out a lingering shower into your Wednesday. Then we'll have some drier weather by the time we make our way towards the end of the week and even going into the weekend. Now, looking at your morning PT forecast at Fort Sill, temperatures for the most part in the lower 60s, warming up to 67 by 9 a.m. For today, we'll be at 88 degrees, very warm and partly cloudy. And looking at your 7-day forecast, we'll keep it mostly in the 80s.
Well, it's time for your weekly Academy football update, and man, what an incredible game we got in Annapolis on Saturday.
That was a really good game, very close. I think too close for what the Navy probably expected, but the Navy pulled out a victory 34-31 over the Air Force to pull one closer to capturing the Commander-in-Chief trophy for the second year in a row.
And if you like offense, this was the game for you. The two quarterbacks put on an absolute show. Air Force QB Liam Zarka accounted for over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Navy's Blake Horvath even better. He threw for a career-high 339 yards, rushed for another 130. His favorite target, Eli Heidenreich, with 8 catches for a new program record, 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it was the Navy defense that came away with the play of the game right here, forcing a fumble late in the fourth quarter to seal the deal.
So the midshipmen remain perfect at 5-0. They'll head to Temple Saturday afternoon. Air Force falls to 1-4. They draw unbeaten UNLV Saturday this week. And it also was a good weekend for Army fans. So there you go, Black Knights. They got back in with the win column, into the win column with a 31-13 victory over UAB.
Yeah, the second half was the story for Army. After leading just 10-7 at halftime, the Black Knights blew the game open with 21 straight points to open the second half. Quarterback Cale Helms with a huge day, a career-high 3 touchdown runs. The Army defense forced a couple of big turnovers as well.
And the Black Knights are now 2-3 on the season. They'll be back at home this week to host 1-4 Charlotte. Well, the Army is adding 17 new military occupational specialties, or MOSs, to its civilian acquired skills program.
The program allows soldiers with relevant civilian skills to bypass some of their initial training and start their military careers at an advanced level. The expansion brings up the total number of eligible occupations to 60.
While specific requirements vary by career field, all ACASP applicants must meet several general criteria. Candidates need verifiable work experience, training, or certification in a qualifying job, and must satisfy all standard Army enlistment requirements such as age, physical fitness, and background checks. New video has surfaced from one of several people taken into custody for trying to bring aid into Gaza aboard a flotilla. We'll have the latest military headlines when Good Morning Fort Sill returns after this break.
KSWO and the Lawton Fort Sill community want to thank our service members and their families for their service and sacrifice. We are extremely proud of your courage, dedication, and daily commitment to protecting our freedoms. To recent graduates and their extended families, congratulations on your accomplishment and welcome to our community. Lawton Fort Sill is a unique area like no other in the country. With our strong working relationship with our armed forces, thank you for everything you do for us. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. every evening.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
There's another shakeup in the Lawton City Council as another member announces their resignation.
Your first alert for what's next.
That triple-digit heat that you saw in those 2 towns, that'll be throughout most of our areas we heading in next week.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
7 News. Working for you every night at 10.
A Marine accused of stabbing his ex-wife in 2022 is set to go on trial this week in Hawaii.
The mother of the victim is attending the trial and hopes to get justice for her daughter and her unborn grandchild.
Mahealani Richardson has more from the Aloha State.
Natalia Cespedes is the mother of 27-year-old Donna Alotaibi, who was allegedly stabbed to death by her estranged husband, an active-duty Marine, 29-year-old Sergeant Bryant Tejeda Castillo, on the H3 freeway in 2022. She says she feels sadness every day for the loss of her daughter and the grandchild she didn't get to meet.
A lot of pain. Like for everybody in home. I like to go to the cemetery all the time to change the flowers, talk by myself, feeling like empty.
Alotaibi was separated from her husband, and her mother says she was 16 weeks pregnant with her boyfriend. Cespedes says she was looking forward to seeing her daughter again and the upcoming baby. Alotaibi worked several jobs, including as a cashier and doing eyelashes. She loved beauty. Mother and daughter spoke daily.
It's very nice memories I have from her. And all the time I can hear her voice because we talk every day when she was over there.
Tejeda Castillo is charged with second-degree murder, and Cespedes says she will travel to Hawaii for his trial in Honolulu Circuit Court in February.
I want everything finished in Hawaii.
She says her daughter wanted to move on with her life.
She want to finish everything that get done. Divorce, everything want to get done.
Meanwhile, at this home on the Marine Corps base in Kaneohe, there are fresh flowers left for Ruby Alcantara, who was strangled by her husband in front of their son. Earlier this week, Staff Sergeant Alonzo Alcantara was sentenced to 26 years.
I'm thinking, how many times this will happen? How many times it's hard to understand how the people from the military don't act.
Well, new video has surfaced of the moments before more than 400 activists were detained by the Israeli military last week.
That's right. The group was part of the Global Summit Flotilla, a civilian-led maritime effort. The flotilla was trying to break through Israel's blockade of Gaza to bring humanitarian aid when it was intercepted.
Among the activists, a woman from Hawaii named Jasmine Ikeda.
We know that children, and actually everyone, not just children, are starving and literally starving to death in Gaza. So personally, I'm really proud that we have someone from Hawaii who went on that mission. I'm also really terrified for Jasmine, even though I don't know her personally.
On Friday, President Trump ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip. As we mentioned earlier in this newscast, talks of a ceasefire resume today. Well, today's military good news takes us to Iowa. The Waterloo community banded together to honor an unclaimed veteran with a proper burial.
Lacey Reeves has more on how a group of total strangers became family for a man who served our country.
Our veteran's name is Patrick L. Picker. He was born on December 23rd, 1916, and he died on February 10th, 2004.
Dozens of people gathered with their motorcycles, antique cars, and hot rods left Waterloo at the crack of dawn with an important mission to bring one Iowa veteran home.
We are honoring a veteran who does not have any family, which means everyone that will be here today will become his family.
Picker served in the Army during World War II, but when he passed away, no one claimed his cremated remains. Many veterans came to help escort Picker, even if they didn't know each other.
We will before the day is over, though. Yeah. All veterans are brothers and sisters, no matter what branch.
Amongst those present was Iowa U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, speaking in Picker's honor.
Patrick doesn't have a family here today. We're that family. honoring him for his service.
The group traveled over 140 miles together to reach the Iowa Veterans Cemetery in Adel, where Picker was laid to rest.
Well, equestrians in South Carolina came together to raise money for the Special Forces Foundation.
Galloping for Glory helps maintain the mental and physical well-being of our U.S. Army Special Forces and their families with a few friendly rounds of polo. The event went all weekend long, and participants say they knew their money was going well beyond the polo field.
20,000 veterans call Aiken County home. We're one of the largest veteran districts in America, and it's something that we're very proud of. Very proud of the veterans of the state of South Carolina as well. And so, you know, it's easy to do things here because our service does not go unnoticed in a community like this. It's a very patriotic community. The polo community has welcomed us with open arms, and so this is actually the first polo event that the Special Forces Foundation has done.
Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning and happy Monday. And looking at what's happening on our Cameron University Tower Cam line, really not much here. We're just starting off another quiet start across the area. Luckily, though, the wind's not really as strong as what we had throughout the weekend. We're starting off with relatively light winds. You can see even some calm spots over towards Bowie and Vernon and Kroll and over towards Lyon. A little bit of a breeze coming in out of the southeast up to 10 over towards Frederick, 8 and 6 in Altus right now. We have a frontal system off towards the northwest. That's going to bring the chance for a little bit of some spotty activity possible starting tonight, going into tomorrow, and even could linger into your Wednesday across the area. So looking over in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we're dealing with a little bit of a dip in the jet stream just off towards the northwest. But for us, like I mentioned before, there's that spotty chance of activity. We'll see a little more clouds this afternoon, but really for the most part, we are kind of in mainly a dry pattern here as we make our way throughout the work week. So as we look later on this week, can't rule out that lingering shower on your Wednesday, and then notice how overall we may see a rain shower possible by the time we get towards the tail end of the weekend. But looking at your morning PT forecast at Fort Sill, temperatures in the lower 60s until after the sun rises. Then we'll start warming things up, and over the next 7 days we'll deal with those temperatures in the 80s, but still warming up towards the 90-degree mark or even into the low 90s for this upcoming weekend. And we can see those winds picking up as well for the weekend.
Be a lot happier when we get rid of those 90s for sure.
Definitely, especially since it's October.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill. Check that 7 News app for updates and breaking news.